In June of 2014, a couple bought their dream home. 6 bedrooms, a wraparound porch, a quiet, wealthy street in Westfield, New Jersey. They hadn't even unpacked their first box when a letter showed up in the mailbox. No return address. Typed, not handwritten. And it wasn't a welcome note. It was addressed to them by name. And it was signed, The Watcher. Derek and Maria Broaddus seemed to have everything going right. Derek had just turned 40 and been promoted to senior vice president at a Manhattan insurance company. To celebrate, the couple decided to upgrade their lives. They found a stunning Dutch colonial house at 657 Boulevard, built in 1905, in one of the most desirable towns in New Jersey. Westfield wasn't just nice, it was ranked among the richest small cities in the entire country. Tree-lined streets, good schools, the kind of place people move to so nothing bad ever happens to their kids. They closed on the house for just over $1.3 million. 3 days later, before they'd even moved a single piece of furniture in, the first letter arrived. The letter was addressed to the new owners of 657 Boulevard. It opened almost politely, welcoming them to the neighborhood. Then it turned. The writer claimed their own family had been watching the house for generations. A grandfather in the 1920s, a father in the 1960s, and now it was their turn. The letter referred to the Broaddus children, ages 5, 8, and 10, as young blood, and asked whether the couple intended to fill the house with more of it. It ended with a line that would end up defining the entire case, that the house was calling them, and that the watcher would be observing everything. Derek and Maria assumed it was a prank, a tasteless one. They went to the police anyway, just to have it on record. That decision would matter a lot later, because the letters didn't stop. 3 more letters arrived over the following year and a half. Each one proved the writer wasn't guessing. They knew the family's car. They knew which contractors were doing the renovation. They referenced details about the children that a stranger driving by shouldn't have known. One letter taunted the family, saying that if they looked out any of the many windows of the house, they might see the writer among the people walking past, implying that the watcher wasn't some distant obsessive. The watcher was a neighbor, someone who saw them every day, someone whose face they might already know. That single idea, that the person terrorizing them might be smiling and waving at them on the sidewalk, is what turned this from a strange nuisance into something the family could never relax from again. Police looked hard at the Broaddus' next-door neighbors, the Langfords, whose family had lived on the block since the 1960s. No solid evidence connected them. DNA recovered from one of the envelopes suggested the sender might be a woman, which sent investigators toward the previous owner and a female relative of the Langfords. Neither matched. Even Maria herself was tested and cleared, after some neighbors floated the theory that the Broadduses had written the letters to themselves to get out of a house they'd realized they couldn't afford. Private investigators were hired. Former FBI profilers were consulted. Nothing stuck. Meanwhile, the family learned something that made everything worse. The previous owners had also received a strange letter before they sold the house, years earlier, but had brushed it off as nothing and never mentioned it during the sale. The Broadduses never moved in, not for one single night. They installed webcams. They upgraded the alarm system. And they kept paying the mortgage on a house that sat empty while they lived somewhere else, too afraid to let their kids sleep there. They tried to sell it. The letters had become public knowledge by then, and buyers walked. They tried to get permission to demolish the house and split the lot into 2 new homes. The planning board rejected it after a packed, 4-hour public meeting where neighbors argued it would hurt property values and ruin the character of the street. Eventually, they rented the house out to a tenant. That's when the 4th and final known letter arrived. This one addressed directly and venomously to Derek and Maria, taunting them to turn around, hinting that the watcher might already be someone they'd spoken to face-to-face. To this day, nobody has ever been charged. The case has been picked up by New York Magazine, turned into the basis for a Netflix series starring Naomi Watts and Bobby Cannavale, and dissected by amateur investigators online for a decade. Suspects have come and gone. A reclusive neighbor, a local writer with a documented obsession over an old Westfield house. Even, briefly, members of the family itself. None of it has ever produced an arrest. The house at 657 Boulevard has since sold to new owners. As far as anyone knows publicly, they haven't received a single letter, which means either the watcher stopped, or the watcher is still out there, waiting to see who moves in next. Subscribe for the next part of this video.